Is dark liquid, hooch, on my sourdough starter bad? Have you ever noticed a dark liquid forming on your sourdough starter and wondered if it's a sign of trouble? This liquid, often referred to as hooch, can be a bit alarming at first glance. But let's break it down and understand what hooch really is and what it means for your sourdough starter. Hooch is a natural byproduct of the fermentation process. It primarily consists of alcohol and water produced by the wild yeast in your starter. When your starter runs out of food, which is usually flour, it produces this liquid. So, if you see hooch, it's a clear signal that your starter is hungry and needs to be fed. Now, you might be asking, is hooch harmful? The good news is that hooch itself is not harmful. It does not indicate spoilage or danger unless you see mold or unusual colors like orange or pink streaks. If you spot mold, it is best to discard the starter entirely. So, what should you do when you find hooch on your starter? You have two main options. First, you can stir it back into the starter. This can add a tangy flavor to your bread, and many bakers prefer this method if the hooch smells pleasantly yeasty and sour. On the other hand, if the smell is off-putting or resembles nail polish remover, it is a sign of excessive alcohol, and you may want to pour it off before feeding the starter. To revive a starter that has hooch, you need to feed it regularly. This means adding fresh flour and water to restore its activity. If the hooch is darker and more abundant, it may take multiple feedings over a couple of days to bring your starter back to life. For best practices, feed your starter consistently to prevent hooch from forming. If you bake often, store your starter at room temperature. If you bake less frequently, refrigerate it and feed it weekly. Always check for mold or off smells before using your starter. When feeding, use unbleached all-purpose or bread flour to support healthy yeast and bacteria growth. In summary, the dark liquid on your sourdough starter is a normal sign that it needs feeding. It is not bad or unsafe. You can manage it by stirring it in or pouring it off, followed by regular feedings to keep your starter vigorous for baking.